Good evening, Range of Beauties, and welcome to the Pink Politics Show. Now, unless you've been living under the proverbial rock, you've heard that the Democrats' newest it girl, Senator Kamala Harris of California, has abruptly ended her 2020 presidential campaign. Her announcement, which was made this past Tuesday, sent shockwaves through the American political community. At one point, Harris was touted as a likely 2020 frontrunner. The former overzealous and dirty California prosecutor was seen as a shining hope for the left in the 2020 presidential election. All of the employees of CNN's Commissar Jeff Zucker and MSNBC's racist globalist Brian Roberts told us again and again that Kamala could very easily become the president of our country. But now that she's pulled out of the 2020 presidential election, the Democrats and the liberal pundits and the mainstream media are left scratching their heads wondering what the heck happened. Perhaps in an attempt to answer that question, the New York Times, the unofficial newspaper of the Democratic Party, will cite three main reasons as to why her extremely contrived, carefully scripted, and entirely corporate-backed election campaign suddenly collapsed, like Rome in 476 AD or Enron in 2001. They may say that she dropped out of the election because her political operation was poorly managed. They may say that she dropped out because she suffered from lack of national name recognition. And lastly, they'll probably say that she exited the 2020 presidential election because of a lack of money. The corrupt news columnists will use all of these reasons as excuses to explain why Harris failed to make it to the first primary. But to be honest, none of those reasons are why her presidential campaign was unsuccessful. The real reason why Kamala Harris dropped out of the 2020 presidential contest is because she simply couldn't get support from Black American women voters. But why is it that she couldn't gain traction with the group that she needed the most? Well, because she relied on a single idea: identity politics. Harris wrongly assumed that she didn't have to discuss how her plans would benefit Black American women voters in particular. After all, she is firstly a female, secondly, she's arguably Black, and thirdly, she's a graduate of Howard University, one of the most well-known historically Black colleges and universities in the United States. These desired candidate attributes were supposed to make her a certified member of the Black American Sisterhood and the rightful inheritor of Obama's Black American female base. All she thought she had to do to solidify her frontrunner status with her base was awkwardly dance to a hip-hop song and tell anyone who'd listen that she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, or AKA, which, by the way, is the oldest Greek letter sorority for Black American women. Here's a clip of Harris feigning to like a popular hip-hop song. Cringeworthy, right? But she thought this absurd kind of pandering would really work. Why? Well, if you asked her prior to her quitting where she learned this shrewd and, quite frankly, offensive vote-getting tactic, she'd most certainly tell you from Barack Obama. You know, I can picture Kamala Harris talking with her bosses, billionaire Democratic donors Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, and saying to them, well, after all, Obama didn't have a specific plan for winning over Black American women voters, and he won their votes twice. So why should I be expected to bring policy specifics and proposals to the table? And of course, we'd be remiss not to include her saying this while eating a hot plate of curry chicken and drinking a glass of Tandai to wash it all down. But what an ambitious and quite obviously hungry Kamala Harris later found out was that 2019 is not 2008, and identity politics is deader than a chicken stuffed between two buns at Popeyes. In case Kamala and her Democratic strategists didn't know, voters from Black American women's community have learned from the Obama presidency. We now know that a Black president doesn't automatically mean Black empowerment. If truth be told, Black American wealth decreased under the Obama administration. According to The Intercept, his Democratic-approved housing policies led to many Black American families losing their homes. But not only that, every Black American will tell you that Black life in general worsened under the Obama administration. And while Black American women's communities were crumbling overnight, Obama was doing what Harris attempted to do, which of course is engage in the politics of symbolism. Each time Jeff Zucker or Brian Roberts instructed their cameraman to aim the camera towards Obama, he was doing things that individuals from Black American women's community enjoy doing. Things like playing a basketball game or singing a classic R&B song. Here are some clips of Barry, better known as Barack Obama, displaying the fine art of political symbolism.
Pressure well. Okay, there's your first letter. That's your P.
I got P.
All right, here's the pressure. He's knocking this one down.
That's money.
Boom! Oh, I thought it was in the hole.
Then to know that Reverend Al Green was here. I'm so in love with you.
So in love with you. I guess he sings this lyric to Michelle on their wedding anniversary while discreetly crossing his fingers behind his back. Barry, your presidency is finished. You're not even a second-term president, and therefore you're liberated from any worries about re-election and/or impeachment. So be bold, and more importantly, honest, and tell Michelle that you married her not for love or commitment or companionship, but for political expediency. Tell her exactly how you wanted to advance yourself politically, and that you thought the best way to do so was to legitimize your position in Black American women's community and gain access to our political capital and votes by marrying a member of our community. Now, Obama more than likely would never be able to say any of this. Why? Well, because he's not honest. No politician in Washington, D.C. is. But the point is that being ignored in the age of Obama prepared all of us for Kamala's antics. So when she started pretending to be a sister girl, we knew that she'd spent more time reading the anachronistic Obama playbook, which was purely symbolic and without substance, than reading Black American history at Howard University. And for handing in the wrong assignment, we gave her Black American women's version of an F by singing in unison the lyrics of Lauryn Hill's classic song, Doo-Wop. You know, something tells me that the same idiotic Democratic strategist who told Hillary Clinton to claim that she carries hot sauce in her bag told Kamala Harris that being Black was enough to win over our resilient and resourceful group. Hopefully the Democrats won't make this mistake again. We sure didn't. Oh, and by the way, Kamala, since there's no longer a need to pose as an African American with roots in this country, you can legally change your last name to your mother's East Indian surname, Gopalan. It's blatantly obvious that you respect your warrior East Indian mother more than you do your estranged Black father, Donald Harris, who comes from what you might call pot-smoking Jamaica. Thanks for joining us. I'm Taylor Washington, and this is Pink Politics, where Black womanhood and politics converge.